What's up, y'all? You know what time it is? It's about to be that time.
Savage.
Welcome to Theory for Theory, a series on the channel where I go head-to-head with another One Piece YouTuber where we talk about their theories, my theories, community theories, what have you. Our guest this week was Evil, aka Threevil. Alright, we talked about his Blackbeard Is An Octopus theory, we talked about the four gods of One Piece, a whole bunch of stuff. Hope you enjoy.
What's up, y'all? You know what time it is? It's about to be that time.
Alright, what's up, people? Welcome to another edition, alright, of Theory for Theory. Alright. My guest today, my special guest today is Evil, Eddie Evil, Threevil. Man's got a bunch of names in the community because you see three threes and you don't know what to do with them.
Edward Weevil.
You've been climbing in the One Piece ranks here, my boy.
Man, it's been a blast, man. Like, you know, at the end of the day, we're all One Piece fans, and you know, just being able to be a creator and share your ideas and your opinions and takes, like, it's so much fun, man. Like, it's a blessing.
If anybody in the chat isn't familiar with my guy here, right? He's another fellow One Piece content creator. He's another theorist. He's pretty known in the community in the same way that, you know, when I was coming up, I was known as the Laws and Sword guy. Well, this is the Blackbeard Is An Octopus guy. All right. Even though you also had the Hanamon theory pretty recently, and that blew up.
Yeah, I like, you know, it's really interesting because, you know, again, like, we're all One Piece fans. So when you come up with this idea and this theory, you know, your first initial reaction, I'm sure you've had this before. You're like, oh my God, like, I just found something sick.
Oh,
and
yes.
I was just like going crazy over it. I was like, I gotta share this. Like,
Joe Malomo said, Randy and Evil about to split the sky, Conqueror's Clash style. Yeah.
That's great.
And Simply Kevin, thanks for joining the channel. I know you're over on Evil's Discord a lot and all that.
He's a legend. He's a legend.
Quetzalcoatl theory, in unidentified, said they subbed immediately to you. His observation hockey is most savage in the Sunshine State. All right.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel with the current state of everything?
Man, honestly, I try to be patient with you know, how I feel about something, but it's like the Wano arc is just it's knocking it out the park for me, man. Like, we see Gear 5, you know, Luffy having the special fruit. Every chapter I'm just going through, I'm like, oh man, like, even when it's like those fighting chapters where it's not like a lot of plot development, you still have like really funny scenes that gives you like that pre-time skip feeling. You see Luffy using Kaido's jump rope. I still have not gotten over that, man. Like, I'm really loving Wano, and it's peak, man. Like,
you nailed it when you said that you're getting the pre-time skip vibes, and that's what I've been getting lately. You know, I wouldn't say that I've been getting it for an extensive period of time, but I've been getting it recently, especially with Luffy, you know, using his new power. And I'm pretty open, you know, with, you know, until the post-time skip ends, I have a stronger affinity for the pre-time skip. Like, that's my bread and butter. If I'm going to go and rewatch something, I'm probably going to rewatch something in the pre-time skip. And so getting those vibes back, going back to that sort of goofy, funny, you know, like, stuff, man, I don't know. I'm having fun right now, for sure. I still want some more drama to come in, you know, because, I mean, even in the pre-time skip, we had a lot of drama. So I want that balance. Oda knows that balance, man. And
yeah.
We got Metalverse here, said, I'm Cal from Evil's Discord. My goat made it. I've been subbed to him since his first vid, Blackbeard's an Octopus. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think I'm not sure if you watched it, but it was like years back. Like Morge had a video on One Piece greatness when it comes to having that balance between tragedy and comedy, and like watching Luffy fight Kaido right now, like you have like these imagination powers, however you want to interpret it, these silly attacks, and it's like, sorry about that. These silly attacks. You got the comedy side, you got the tragedy side, but I really like that you point that out because I think Oda's like, hey guys, look, comedy, we're being silly, and then just out of nowhere, we're gonna be smacked by something really, really heavy. Like I'm just remember how, like for an example, remember how everyone was rolling with the Act 3 ends in a tragedy, like.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that was a thing for a long time, time. Oh man, my guy Ty back at it. Let's see. Here, let's give it a second. Second. W's in the chat for Ty. Oh yeah, I want to see those dubs. So this one's directed at you, my man. He said, "I'm sorry to interrupt, Captain, but I need that Threeville One Piece origin story." Yeah. So I actually skipped over that because I was let's see, with a couple of these theory for theories, I've kind of opened with that, where it's just like, tell me, man, how did you how'd you get into this? What is your origin story, not only with One Piece, but then like getting into the YouTube frame? Let everybody know.
Man, it's a really complicated story, so good luck trying to keep up to pace with this. So I'm a junior in high school. I grew up with Naruto, really liked it. I watched until the anime was.
A junior in high school?
Yeah, this was like way back.
Oh! I thought you said you're a junior in high school right now. I was like, how? Wait, what?
No. Maybe I misspoke. No. I'm much older now, man. Oh man, but
yeah.
Basically, bro. Back when I was a junior, I was into Naruto. Grew up with that, and then I caught up with the anime, and I switched to the manga from that. And it was like maybe 10 chapters before it ended. Naruto ended, and then my friend was like, hey man, you gotta try One Piece. He was in my ear every day, and I was like, yeah, whatever. I gave in. I watched the Arlong Park. I was like, oh man, Naruto, you just got surpassed. So
instantly, one arc.
Yeah, like you know how it is. Once you reach the end of Arlong Park, you know if you're gonna roll with it or not.
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, like I was watching it in high school too. Like I was I don't know, I might have been a freshman or a sophomore. I was probably a freshman. And I was still on the Dragon Ball Z train. And I was just like, I got to Arlong Park. I was like, Dragon Ball what? It's like, what? This is like the height of Dragon Ball Z too. Like everybody was on it. I'm like, nah. This right here. Then I got to Alabasta. It was like,
oh, game
over. Nothing's touching this forever. I'm in. But anyway. I mean, keep going, man.
No, I love Alabasta manga. I think, like, man, that's probably in my top 3. But, so yeah, I was watching the anime. So from then until maybe like 2019, I've been really on and off with the One Piece anime. Just kind of I'll watch like a month straight, and then I'll stop for a bit, watch for a month, until like 2020, like around COVID starting to like start up or whatever. I caught up to Zo in the anime, and I was like, let me just read from Zo to Wano. So I did that, and then like my enjoyment for One Piece just skyrocketed. So I went back to chapter 1 and I read all the way to Wano. And while I did that, I went back to episode 1 and watched all the way to Wano. So like I've had my runs through the story, and then while that was going on, I found your channel, and I'm trying not to fanboy, but man, like been a huge supporter. Like the way you read the story and interpret things, like this is the GOAT, guys. Like enough about me, like this man's the GOAT. But yeah, like your law being in sword theory, like to this day I'll still refer back to it, and I'll rewatch it. Like many good points there. But
no, I appreciate that, man.
Like honestly, like I'm being like really honest and genuine about this. Like watching that lobbying and sword video, that was like, man, I want to make videos. So literally, like, I'm sitting in like BDA's Discord every day, just talking to people in the Theories channel, just chatting it up or whatever. And just at one point, I'm like, man, like, I want to figure out Blackbeard. So I take a deep dive into his character, like all sorts of things. I like to grab things from real life, you know, mythology, creatures, animals, like religions, stories, whatever. And I was just like, you know what? Blackbeard is an octopus. And it sounds wild. But people in the Theory channel at that time, they were like, yo, like, this is insane. And I remember people in that text channel, like, they were even searching with me. They pulled up the octopus that brought the Straw Hat Pirates down from Skypiea. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to make a video. So yeah. I made it. And
so I doubt that there are many people in the chat that are unfamiliar with this theory. So, you know, we'll get into Blackbeard's an Octopus for a little bit here, but but really, I appreciate all that, man. And I do remember you being an early supporter, like even before the Laws and Sword video. I think I remember you in the comments and stuff. Because when I was only getting, I don't know, like 5 comments a video or whatever, like I still remember every one of those people that commented. My man here was one of them.
For sure, man.
But there's a lot of symbolism to Blackbeard being an octopus. Now, there's been a bunch of theories over the years of what Blackbeard could be. I've always said that I felt like Blackbeard. Well, all right. First of all, everybody says, based on the 3 skulls, for years, everybody said, all right, Blackbeard's going to get another devil fruit, right? What is it going to be? It's probably going to be his own. Is he going to show up to Wano? Is he going to, like, take out Kaido? Is he going to, like, be a dragon and have the earthquakes and do this? Like, that was the whole thing. Is he going to go after Marco? Is he going to do this? I've been saying for years that he already has a fruit. Like, he has, like, there's got to be a reason for him to have already been able to eat 2 other fruits. So I felt like he had to have started from square one even before he met up with Whitebeard. Like, he had to have something. And I was a long time rider for the Cerberus theory. Because that was, for a long time. They were like, all right, 3 skulls, 3 heads, like maybe he's like a hellhound, right? A lot of people said, oh, maybe he's a hippo, 3 stomachs. But I loved when you came out and you said 3 hearts, man, because there's so much symbolism to that, because you have Law, right, who switches people's hearts around. Like, the soul is attached to the heart. So there's like, but then even then, the octopus bringing them down from Skypiea, right? But how did that arc start? With them being chased by Blackbeard before they even got onto the knockup stream. So if they were being chased by an octopus, like, I mean, come on. But more than anything, I mean, tell them about the flag, man. Tell them about the flag, because that's
the flag, 3 skulls being 3 hearts, 3 different entities, 3 different devil fruits, because like you said, people were rolling with the concept of Blackbeard having 3 fruits for a while, but or getting a 3rd fruit. But I feel like it's such an Oda thing to be like, hey, look, he's gonna get a 3rd devil fruit, and then out of nowhere, no, he actually already has it. Like, that, to me, that's such an Oda thing. Kind of like,
facts.
This isn't like the best example, but you know how, like, leading up to Marineford, they're like, we're gonna kill Ace, publicly execute Ace. That was set in our mind, but as like a Luffy fan, we're like, nah, that's not gonna happen. Then it actually happens. It's sort of that kind of energy,
right?
But then you got the bones, 8 tentacles. I mean, like, when I saw that, I was like, that was like one of those things where I was like, no, I definitely need to like tell someone about this.
Oh yeah, that was a big thing for me too when I saw that, because I was just like, in my mind, for whatever reason, I thought 3 skulls, 9 bones. I don't know why, or I was never really looking at it from that perspective. So I really liked that when you just take all of the bones out of it, there's 8 of them. But I mean, just pirateness, pirate lore, Kraken, like octopus, But even then, there's there's so much Shintoism in One Piece, right? And then you have there's a lot of lore behind this demonic Kraken-like figure, the Akurokamwi. Like, if you're not familiar with that, man, look into that, because that might even bolster your theory some more too.
For sure, gonna have to check that out then.
Because, I mean, I could see it being the mythical Taku model Akurakamwi. Like, that's, you know, just taking it to the Shintoism and all that in the story. I could see that.
That's Oda energy right there, man.
Yeah. Rice Lucas, Wordsmith Club, super chat and said, "Hi, Randy and Evil. So considering Luffy's Devil Fruit is an in-world mythical deity, wouldn't it make sense if Blackbeard has something like that? Perhaps the Sea Devil itself, Yami Yami no Mi, is negating Devil Fruit power like the sea?" So there's been a lot of there's been a lot of talk lately too about, you know, now that we have the, you know, the Nika fruit, right? Does Blackbeard maybe not have an octopus fruit, but he's got some sort of Hito Hito no Mi as well? You know, like, I've been seeing things like, you know, Luffy's the sun god, is Blackbeard the moon god? You know, like, I don't know. I don't think it needs to be that much. You already have the Yami Yami no Mi, which is the darkness, so the darkness versus the sun. You go back to Banaro Island, and, you know, it's like Blackbeard says to Ace, you know, it's the sun versus darkness, who's going to win, right? Which just seems like Oda foreshadowing for the end. And
100%.
I don't know. What do you think about that?
Man, like, the deeper I dive into Blackbeard lore and, you know, the further the story goes on, like, I feel like there's so many options at this point. And, you know, I got to stay true to the octopus. I got to stay true to the Kraken. But
exactly. That's like me saying law's not in Sword. Nah, he's not.
No, like, bro, as Wano progresses, man, I'm just like, it's becoming even stronger of a headcanon. I didn't even think it could evolve into what it is now, but yeah, there's no going back sometimes.
Yeah. Did you, you know, I remember, like, I loved that theory so much that when I made my Blackbeard video, I spent, like, almost, I want to say, like, 10 minutes just talking about it and talking about some other stuff. Did you see the color spread that I had brought up? Can't remember, it's like 700 and something, where the crew is like shipwrecked, and in the back there's an octopus, right? And one of the things that I really love about that color spread, you know, because it's like Oda clearly tries to, you know, foreshadow or put hints or subversions, things. You go back to 310, you have you have Momonosuke as a dragon there, you have the Kozuki crest, you have so many different things, right? But one of the things I love about that is the two people that are not in that color spread, which is Frankie, right? Which is, if they're shipwrecked, how are they going to get out of that situation? Jinbei isn't there also, so he's not going to call a bunch of whale sharks to save them. And then most of all, Robin is not there, who's the key to everything in Laugh Tale, and like someone that Blackbeard is eventually going to need, right? So I would love if, you know, this octopus thing comes true, and then that color spread was really the foreshadowing behind it, and like he's captured Robin, Frankie is just out of commission or something, Jinbei's out of commission, and the rest of the crew is trying to figure out everything while they're even on the way to Laugh Tale. Like, that kind of stuff is just crazy to me.
I do remember that. When I saw that, I was like, man, this dude he one-upped me. I thought it was really good.
It ain't even like that, man. It ain't even about that. It's just let's build on it. Let's make it work. Let's hammer it. Let's get in there. Let's really dive deep, man. You know?
I'm now gotta ask you. It was really recent, probably within the past 20 chapters or so. We had Blackbeard show up. He had I'm sorry, not Blackbeard. We had an octopus on a cover page. It was a request, and he had Blackbeard's bandana with Blackbeard's glasses, if I'm not mistaken, or Blackbeard looking eyes with Usopp. Maybe I'll have to pull it up, but that was like, oh man, foreshadowing, man.
Yeah, I remember. I think I made a joke about it when it happened. I was just like, and it was at the height of all of, you know, your theory to begin with too.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it was like the chapter after Liam did the whole shout out for you and all that. And it's just like, oh man, now he must have heard this, and then he's putting this in, man.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you might have experienced this, where like you have a theory or an idea, or you have some kind of prediction, and then when something that kind of supports it happens, everyone's just coming in droves to you.
Oh, naturally. It's like I remember, you know, early on, it was like, it wasn't too long after I just started streaming, but I had like a massive spike of people come in when like 1004 happened, and like Tama went off and Usopp finally shot a dango, because I kept saying, I was like, she's gonna start pulling dangos off of her cheeks, and Usopp is gonna start like firing them at the smiles. So there was a bunch of people in the stream that day just to see that, and I mean that generally happens. When I had a lot of people for 1008 too, because we had that 2-week break for the Odin thing, and I was like, oh yeah, it's Kanjuro, Ashura Doji's about to get it, and I don't remember what else I said, but then everybody was just like, bro, how'd you predict this whole chapter? And I'm just like,
I don't know. You know, I actually remember it was probably around that time frame, bro. I remember watching like multiple of your chapter reviews, and you would just another one, like 7 chapters in a row. I'm like, dude, what the? This guy's on a streak.
Man.
Another one.
Shout out to Khaled. It's fun. You know, I get people on me about it, but it's like, I'm not sitting here to gloat. I'm not sitting here to brag. I do it as a joke. Like, it doesn't matter to me whether I get something right or wrong. And like I always say, I would prefer to be wrong, because I want Oda to surprise me. Like,
totally. If
I go into a movie and I'm sitting there for 2 hours, and by the end of it, I'm saying, all right, this is about to happen, and everything happens because I can't watch a movie without like following the story and then saying, okay, and like putting the pieces together. So I always appreciate it when the writer is able to get me. That's what I love. That's what I love. So when Oda actually does do that, I love it.
Yeah, when he's a step ahead of you, you're like, man, you got me. Like, this is why we call him Goda. And I'm the same way. Like, whenever I watch movies or even shows, like recently, there's like this maybe like 6-part like Kevin Hart show movie, something like that. I don't remember what it was.
The one on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see it yet.
On this. Oh, it's really good.
Yeah, I had a couple people recommend it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth the watch. Like, on episode 1, you just have to take my word. Like, I guessed the entirety of the final episode. Like, it's impossible for me to sit there and watch a movie or a show like a normal person. Like, I'm trying to decipher it. It's all a puzzle to me, and it makes it so much more enjoyable.
Same, bro. Same. Let's get into some chats real quick here. Lanza Beck said, stopping by to show some love. Can't wait to see how this arc ends. Hashtag Zebek is top 1. Emil Diaz said, how about cephalopods like Chulu or Skyla? I mean, Oda draws from a lot of different things, so I mean, I don't think anything's out of the realm, but probably closer to a Kraken or an Akura Kamui, in my opinion, though. Kale Flower said, Eddie, should I get McDonald's, pizza, or wings? Also, hop on OW. You're not busy at all right now. I guess that's the inside.
Overwatch.
All right. Shout out to Vern in the chat. Lanza Beck again said, shout out to my boy Eddie. Told him from the beginning he would blow up, and Randy is forever certified drip. Appreciate you, Lon. Ramona Villa, thanks for both of your content. Also, Cthulhu, an octopus creature, is also a moon lord in the Lovecraft lore.
Ooh.
BB could be both too.
That's spicy.
That's a spicy meatball right there. That's a spicy meatball. All right. Brandon King said, what role will Davy Jones and the Davy back fight have in One Piece? I've talked about my opinions a bunch of times, so I think people have heard that to death. But what do you think about the Davy Jones curse and the Davy back fight coming back into the story?
I want to see some sort of Davy Jones lore. I'm not entirely sure how I envision it. As far as like the Davy back fight, that'd be cool to see it come back, but I don't see it in a scenario against like Shanks. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't see that
would work. Maybe Blackbeard, but at the same time, I feel like all this build up towards like Luffy versus Blackbeard is more like combat related than like, hey, trade crewmates related. So,
but maybe that's the subversion, right? And that's a way for Blackbeard to get Robin without without any fuss. Like that's
true.
That's what I've mentioned to everybody. If there's going to be a serious Davy back fight, I think the person it needs to be against is Blackbeard.
Now, would you say that would be? Will that be like a prequel to like a combat fight? Because that would make sense. I feel like.
I mean, probably, right? I mean, I think. All right, so obviously there's all this stuff in the story that's leading up to Robin getting captured again. Whether it happens or not, there's two sides. Right, because it's either she does get captured and we get Enies Lobby 2.0, which we're already in Enies Lobby 2.0 anyway, by the way. But that line in the whale tree, I've got powerful friends that will protect me. I go back to it all the time. I'm like, Oda, stand by that. Like, have someone try to capture her and then show us how much the crew has learned and give us that rally moment where they stop it from happening. That's what I would love. But at the same time, I feel like Oda has planted Kuzan in Blackbeard's crew for a reason. So if Blackbeard does get Robin, there's somebody in the story that's been there, that has been put there to protect her in the first place. So if anybody's going to get her, I don't think it's the world government. I think that it's Blackbeard.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Geek Army has a Blackbeard theory. It said when Blackbeard fought Ace, we saw Blackbeard use 2 devil fruits. The darkness is his Zoan octopus, the ink, right? Is the darkness, and the other fruit negates other fruits. The darkness looks like an ink cloud when he uses that fruit. Great stream, guys. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've brought up the ink thing. I've brought up the ink thing matching the darkness. That'd be interesting, but then that means that there's some other fruit that's negating the other fruits. What fruit would that be? And if it is the octopus, what part of the octopus would negate that fruit? Unless, because it's a sea creature, that it can store seawater, and that's actually what it's doing. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to like wrap my head around it.
Yeah, maybe I'm just like misreading it. I'm not understanding it too much, but that would be cool if there was like some off-panel like moments of him pulling out the octopus against Ace or even Shanks, because like hypothetically,
we go back to Banara Island and we see more of the fight. That'd be wild.
Like, because hypothetically, if Blackbeard used his octopus fruit against Shanks would see him as an octopus and be like, yeah, cool devil fruit, bro, but he wouldn't instantly think like, oh, this guy is gonna take over the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Shanks could have that kind of knowledge, but
well, we'll see what we get with Film Red. I mean, that's been the topic of discussion for the past week, right?
Oh, definitely.
I mean, smooth transition. Shanks is a bum.
Shanks is a bum. Can't argue that.
Yeah, we were taking bets when I was watching the trailer on stream of what's the over and under of like Shanks' screen time in the movie, and also like, is the screen time going to be a higher number than his baby moms in the series? Because we already, I mean, we don't know who Uta's mom's gonna be, but I mean, there's heavy evidence that Makino's kid is Shanks' kid, so That's at least 2 right there. Let's hit all the blues.
You know, I've been seeing a lot of people toss around the idea that Uta could be affiliated with Germa's in some type of way, just looking at her outfit, I guess. I don't know what your thoughts on that are.
I thought about that when I looked at her shoes, but I actually didn't see anybody talking about that yet. I doubt it, though. I mean, the headphones are kind of interesting, but that would imply Shanks having a connection to Mads or Judge in the, like, before he gives Luffy the hat, right? Because she's already got those headphones, which are very Germa-like. I don't think that. I'm more into the idea of the setting being Emerald City.
Seen that.
Like, I've been waiting for that. Ever since Bellamy pulled that up. Like, I'm a huge Bellamy fan, so I've analyzed Jaya a lot. I've been waiting for Emerald City to, like, actually be something. But I mean, the big theory on Emerald City is that Green Bit is actually that.
Green Bit, okay. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Flondyma91 said my 2 favorite theorists. Hell yeah. Shout out. Kale Flower said, you guys laughed, but I never got an answer to which food I'm supposed to get.
Get the wings, bro.
Yeah, stay away from McDonald's. Yeah. Nah. Don't eat McDonald's. Don't do it to yourself. I did it for too many years, and then I learned what's in it. JD Turkleton, with Law appearing in the red trailer and probably surviving Wano, how does Luffy survive this lifespan issue coming up? So that's a good question, right? Because here's the thing, right? I have to toe the line, right? Because I mean, like, you know, I'm the laws and sword guy. But I mean, I've never not said that Law is going to die by the end of the series. Like, that's kind of, I feel like that's set in stone. But when he dies is the question. And the reason that I came up with the Law is in sword theory in the first place was to give him a reason to survive past Wano. Because that was everybody's theory. Law is going to die in Wano. He has no story relevance to go beyond this. Because he came in post time skip. Let's take down Kaido. They did the Doflamingo side quest. Now they're taking down Kaido. What does he do after this? He's not directly after the One Piece. We do now know that he wants to find out the true history. But I mean, the man could pass his will on to Robin, on to Luffy, whatever. There is a universe where he does give his lifespan to Luffy in this case, because Luffy he's not getting out of this. He's not getting out of this unscathed. Kuma isn't here to take his pain away. So that's, I don't know. How you think Luffy's gonna get out of this?
Like you said, he can't get out unscathed. He's gonna have to do something, man. Like, Oda introduced the whole drawbacks for the gears way back, like at least gear 2nd and 3rd, right? So yeah. With Gear 5 being out of this world, there's gonna have to be some huge drawback on it. At least now, because he's not like adjusted to it yet. He, like you said, Kuma's not here to save him. Like, I feel like that chopper medicine, meek medicine, whatever, because is only gonna do so much, and
it's not gonna. I mean, look at what it did to Zoro. It's not gonna help him.
Exactly. Like, Luffy's not in a good spot right now as far as like post Kaido.
Yeah, unless that Hawkins card is something, that one that was brought up, in 912 or whatever. I mean, I'm still waiting for that, but that just may never happen. But that Lucci page, I bring that up a lot. I feel like that's one of the most important pages in the series, when Lucci is like breaking down exactly what's happening to Luffy's body.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that in real time again, because Luffy died, came back. My going theory is that all of this has to do with some sort of a connection to the Mink Sulong form potentially. One of my longest theories was that the Tamate Bako box and the pills in there and what happened to Hody was like a recreation of the Sulong form. But because I mean you look at it, red eyes, white skin, white hair, like whatever, like I think Luffy right now has white hair, white skin, red eyes. Like I think he looks like he just went Sulong. I think he looks like Hody, all of this. Like I think that now I've adjusted that theory to make even more sense with the story, that those pills were actually created to recreate this Nika, awakening, this transformation here. And, we see what happened to Hody when he abused the pills. We see what happens to the Minks when they abuse the Sulong form. Luffy's going to be in a bad way after this. He's going to be shriveled up.
The interesting thing about Law's operation, we didn't get too much lore on it. Yeah, they did say that the user of the Ope Ope would die, they would give up their life or whatever, that there's some kind of perpetual youth or something like that. But I still feel like there's a lot of room for interpretation and a lot of nuance Oda could add to that operation. So, I mean,
I don't think it's perpetual youth at all. I say it all the time. It's lifespan. Oda deals in lifespan in the story. Big Mom can manipulate it. Ivankov can manipulate it. Big Mom can take it away. I think Law can give it. That's it. I think that's the thing. And then, if
that's great.
If Emu had the fruit, because I'm part of the Emu is 900 years old squad, and it's just I think you take the Opi Opi no Mi, you give it to a slave. They offer their lifespan, you kill the slave, you take the fruit, you give it to another one. I think that cycle was rinsed and repeated for a while, and then the fruit got lost. So,
I like that you drew that kind of inversion or parallel where Big Mom, she's taken life and Law's given. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the way I've always seen it, the way we were dealing with lifespan. It would be way too broken to just have perpetual youth. You know what I mean? You go back to Whole Cake and everything, and it was such a point. I'm going to take 50 years from you. I'm going to take X amount of years from you. I'm going to do this. Here's the roulette wheel. How many years do you want, right? But then if you have a fruit that can just give that, but it's at the cost of the user, then I mean, that's the way I look at that. Metalverse said, Randy, do you think Shanks is a snitch? I already know Eddie's take on this. I don't think I know Eddie's take on this.
Oh, man. So, Law cares about Luffy, and that's obvious. Or Shanks cares about Luffy, that's obvious, but I don't know, man. I'm getting these vibes from Shanks that, he values world balance and Luffy's trying to disrupt that. And by world balance, I mean, no wars, no void sentry, no cleansings, no extinguishing the lights. And I think it's very well possible that Shanks is going to have this internal struggle and battle where it's Luffy, I inspired you. I want you to be the king of the pirates. I totally get that. You have your own dreams, whatever. But if you disrupt the world balance, you might lose to the world government. You might be extinguished. You might cause another void sentry. And, I'm under the interpretation that he went to the Godose about Luffy's fruit, just looking how things are rolling out. And I think it'd just be interesting. Again, it's not like Shanks doesn't like Luffy or hates Luffy or something. He inspired him or whatever, but I don't know, man. It's not looking.
All right, I'm gonna meet you halfway with that. Okay, I don't think that Shanks is a bad dude, right? And I don't think that Luffy and Shanks are going to have an actual. I think that the first time that Luffy and Shanks run into each other, it's going to be on sight. Luffy's gonna punch Shanks just to show him that his punch is really like a pistol now. But Shanks values. We see it in the trailer. Right? We see it in the trailer for Film Red. There is no equality or justice in this world, right? So he is about keeping that balance. I think but he bet his arm on the new era. He bet it on Luffy. In 903, he says it's finally time for us to meet, right? Where it's getting to be that time. It's about to be that time. Like
What's up, y'all? You know what time it is? It's about to be that time.
that's Shanks, all right? He's Stephen D. Smith right there. So, but I don't think that. I think that he went to the Gorosei about Luffy, but because he is trying to manipulate the world order so that it all works into the way for Luffy. So I think that he's done some shady stuff. Like, I think Shanks stopped Kaido so that Ace would die, and that he only got involved with the whole war because he probably found out Luffy was there. I think everything Shanks does is to protect Luffy. I think that he manipulated this situation so that they would activate Luffy's awakening. So they would activate Joy Boy so that this can happen, because I think that it was Roger's goal to oversee the freeing of the world from the world government, and that Shanks knows that he can't do it by himself. This is what Roger staked his life on. This is what was on the poneglyphs. This is the prophecy for Joy Boy 800 years from now. He went to get this fruit from Who's Who and Cypherpole and all of that, probably to give the fruit to Ace, but then realized that Ace wasn't the one, right? Luffy started saying the things that Roger was talking about. The fruit called to him, he ate it, and then he realized, all right, no, like, this is the one right here. But there's probably like something in the prophecy, something in the writing that sort of muddies that to the point where Kaido thinks that he could have been Joy Boy, to where, potentially some people may have at some point thought that Ace was that guy. But it's like, no, we don't need the competition for this. Let's see it. If Ace is going to die, let him die, because then we'll see if he turns into Joy Boy, right? Or maybe Shanks knows that it has to be exactly like 20 years from now, so it's like, all right, well, Luffy's my guy. I gotta go and I gotta protect him. I don't think that Shanks is... I think that if it got to a point, yes, where Luffy was going to challenge what Shanks wanted for the world, then Shanks would get into it. But I think that Luffy's going to do exactly what Shanks wants to do. He's going to free the world, he's going to free the slaves, he's going to stop the world government, and there we go. One Piece, Peace, we're peaceful all across the world.
I do like that take, because you can kind of basically see it as Shanks stalling, basically, for Luffy, right? Or at least, like you said, I didn't even think of it in that way with Ace, though, to see if Ace was Joy Boy, see if he, does whatever. That was really interesting.
That's what Roger thought, right? It's just like, oh, I'm gonna have a son.
Yeah.
Like he went to Laugh-Tale and was like, oh, I need to get on this. I gotta hit these blues. I gotta propagate. Like, I gotta, But I think that Shanks's power in the world came because he had the fruit. But I think he told the Gorosei, that he told the government that he still had it. I think that when he showed up to the Gorosei, when he pulled up to Marineford, and they were like, because it's you, we're going to stop the war, right? I think that's because the Gorosei is ordered, like, don't mess with Shanks, because he has this fruit that's been eluding us for 800 years, and he may do something with it. He may eat it, he may give it to somebody, whatever. He shows up to the Gorosei, 907, I think he was saying, yeah, so that fruit that I told you I've been holding on to this whole time, actually, Luffy ate it. I think that that's probably a reason why Garp, immediately after he eats the fruit, he throws him into the forest to hide him. There's a lot of there's a lot of stuff here. So I think that there's a bigger thing about this fruit, because that also ties into the Gorosei saying, like, okay, now is the time. Now we gotta do this. This fruit is active. Luffy turning rubber, right? The way that he uses the powers, imagination, all of this stuff, like, is so tied to this that even if there was a previous user of the fruit, what that user would have done with the fruit isn't exactly what another person would have done. Like, Luffy's doing something different. The other guy's not running around saying, Goma Goma no pistol. He may not even be stretching. He may have just turned into, like gloop. Like, I don't know. Like, whatever is in the user's mind of what they're going to do with the power, I think that's it. They just thought this person had a rubber fruit.
So you're coming from the standpoint where, like, all right, he's basically, Shanks is like, all right, let's see if you're actually Joy Boy. You ate the fruit, but let's see. That's basically like where you're coming from?
Oh yeah, it's all a test for Luffy. He's like, all right, go out, become a great pirate. Give me this hat when you're ready. All right, and it's like he sees Luffy's bounty. All right, you're here. All right, game on. And then that transitions into the Godosei where he's like, hey, I'll tell you guys about Luffy. Luffy, if you survive this, then you're Joy Boy, kind of deal, or he's testing him. He's testing him. It's just like, I'm gonna put everybody on you now because it's getting to be about that time, and let's free the world. All right,
got it.
Like, you have a 1.5 billion berry bounty now. You've been doing a lot of stuff. I think you're ready. I'm testing you like hardcore now.
That makes a lot of sense. I never looked at it like that, and I'm surprised I haven't. I'm just.
Shout out to Groovy Zeno, who said maybe a Davy backfight between the Straw Hats and Blackbeard pirates takes place, and an awakened Shiryu kidnaps Robin, and nobody sees them while Katarina Devon disguises herself as Robin to throw everyone off. I like that. I actually like that. That's crazy. That's some Oda stuff, though.
That's some Oda energy.
Yeah, we just see, like, Robin's kind of off there, and we haven't seen Katarina Devon for a bit. That I like that a lot. I really like that.
I like it.
Sun God Nika said, "Do you think Shanks is a rat?" We just talked about that. Commander Jonathan, Kaido awakens as a Hail Mary play into smaller, more vicious dragon. Punk Hazard loses control for more power. Impel down. Luffy needs help from 8 other shadows to win. Thriller Bark. Do you think Kaido's going to have an awakened form, or do you think we've already seen it?
So with Kaido being like this huge big bad, I feel like there'd be like, yeah, he awakened type of thing. Like, you would know, and it seems like a lot of people are just kind of like, did he awaken, did he not? So I feel like there's not a clear answer for that. If it turns out he already awakened, I wouldn't be mad, but like I said, like, I feel like we would know, like, for sure, okay, Kaido awakens, like, when he awakens.
Yeah, because I've been seeing something around where people were saying that the reason Luffy's awakening is different is because he's a human awakening, so he can still retain his wits, right? Because we saw the awakened Zoans, so they were saying, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who said this, but I just saw it somewhere, and the Impel Down guards, when they awakened, they became like full beast, so they lost themselves, right? So I think what Commander Jonathan here is saying is kind of going into that, losing the control, awakening, becoming just a dragon, and losing himself for the power. Maybe. I mean, if there's truth to that, I could see it, but that would be a Hail Mary play for sure.
Yeah, because I don't think Kaido's awakening means he's a dragon. And I've heard that kind of get tossed around a lot. Like, people will say, like, Kaido's awakening is the Suryu. But the way I interpret it is, like, once you eat that fruit, the model is Suryu. So I feel like you would automatically gain, the dragon form or whatever. But
yeah, I mean, that goes back to, when 999 came out, everybody was saying, oh, he probably, and I was part of it as well. I was like, was he a koi first? Then he went up the waterfall, became a dragon, metaphorically, and that's why I wanted this interaction between him and Momonosuke, like, because Momonosuke immediately became a dragon. Be like, you didn't earn what I, like, worked for. That would have been fun. Didn't happen. Flandamon 91 would love to hear you all discuss the D clan and the D meaning, the Dawn Evil mentioned this a month ago. I love it. Dawn is freedom, the world government. Yeah. I think the D is is more of a hieroglyph. I think it represents a smile. So it doesn't actually mean anything. It's just a smile or a moon, like a crescent moon.
Savage. There's so many things you could call it and it'll make sense. So that's just how I feel about it. I like that one though, where it's not actually like an English word like dusk or dawn, but there's so many options.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what Oda would do. Everybody's trying to figure out what the word means, and then it's like, oh, well, it was never a word at all. So, Gonzal says, fun fact, the Straw Hat seen from above kind of resembles a sun. I never thought about that.
I think he means like on its side, where it's like a sun or a sun on the sunset.
I think he's saying like a literal sun. I don't know. Do you think this could be intentional from the beginning? The truth is, the object has been the trademark of One Piece since ever. It's a good call. It's a good call. Mr. Pastige, will the Yonko system still exist post Wano? I mean, I don't think it needs to. The balance of power is going to be broken, and we're going to be on this like roller coaster until the end, until the world government is dismantled, and none of the powers are necessary. I don't know. What do you think, man?
I agree. It's going to be chaos with Big Mom taking this L, and presumably Kaido, hopefully Kaido, but I agree with what you're saying.
Celicia Kinlo, Shanks is the baby on the ship from God Valley. Maybe. Lucy B said, Evil, what do you think's happening to Zoro? Just on drugs? Or do you think there's a salt fruit that could manipulate seawater?
With Zoro seeing the Grim Reaper, I feel like that could be manifested in a few ways. It could be Enma, could be him tripping now. I mean, I'm kind of leaning towards Enma manifesting into, some kind of physical form. But I'm not. I keep going like back and forth on that. I'm not on a side as of now. But I always love hearing theories on that. I think it's really interesting. And then for the salt fruit, that'd be interesting. I'm not entirely sure if someone's gonna pop up in the future, someone like prevalent or strong to manipulate seawater. But that could be kind of cool for like a movie or something like that.
Yeah, I don't think we necessarily need it.
Yeah.
But Jinmo Ree said, how do you guys feel about Gear 5th? I see people not feeling it, but I'm loving it. I mean, I think we started the stream talking about how we like the callbacks to early pre-time skip One Piece.
The callbacks to pre-time skip One Piece. I'm always gonna appreciate those, man.
Yeah. Les in Logetown Dragon said a pirate. That's fine too, and the world is waiting on your answer. I feel like that means Luffy had many paths to get here. Well, I mean, I think that also just comes from. I think that Shanks, Garp, Dragon, like all of these characters are after the same thing. They want to rebuild the world in a without the tyranny of the world government. So I think Dragon is basically saying whether Luffy becomes a revolutionary, whether he becomes a marine, whether he becomes a pirate, whatever, if he's as long as he's disrupting the world, Dragon is okay with that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it was even explicitly stated by him where he's like, he said something. It wasn't this exactly, but he said something close to "Oh, you're a pirate, fine by me." Something really similar to that. So,
yeah, that's what they're bringing up in this chat.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm tripping. But also really quick, how when Law was fighting Doflamingo, he's like, "Oh, the D surely will brew up a storm." Maybe that's something Dragon even heard of. Maybe that's on a poneglyph or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, but I also think that I've talked about it, I think it ties into Shintoism, and I mean it's even more relevant with Luffy grabbing lightning, because I think that Luffy is like an avatar for Susanoo, the god of storms and the sea, right? Luffy wants to be the king of the seas, and now he can grab lightning, so and the D will cause another storm. Yeah. Actually, I want to speaking of gods and things, I kind of want to get into that, because so King J, I saw him in the chat, he has an idea of who the four gods are, which is different than what you think the four gods are. And I did see that a couple other people have put out videos about that, but we're not going to get into that. But
It's all good, man.
nah, it's all good. But so let's talk about what you think about these gods. And my thing is I think that the gods have to be characters that were introduced before Skypiea, but even then, all right, well, here, let's see. So in the Nolan and Calgar flashback, we learn about four gods. And I am going to have a video coming out where I'm going to get into that a little bit, but I'm mostly going to be talking about why I think JoyBoy was not human. But the Nolan and Calgar flashback is going to be a huge part of that video. And these four gods, you have the god of the sun, right? And then you have the god of the rain, the god of the forest, and the god of earth. So tell everybody who you think those gods are.
I interpreted it as Luffy being the god of the sun, Dragon being the god of the rain, Green Bull being god of the forest, and Emu being god of the earth. And one thing really quick, I really like how they all have like separate allegiances. So like Luffy's the pirate for sun, Dragon's the rain for revolutionary, Green Bull for marines, Emu for world government. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked the community headcanon theory that Green Bull is going to have like some plant-based fruit or something like that with the photosynthesis and not eating. So I like that. My only issue with that is that we haven't met Green Bull, and as far as I'm concerned, he's technically not even really a character in the story yet. But one of the interesting things that I really loved, King J, he said that he thinks the four gods are the four posters that Emu has. So,
I saw that. Very, very, very good take in my opinion.
Yeah, and I've always said that there's something more to Vivi, so Vivi being the rain god, because I've always said Vivi started the rain in Alabasta. Then Shirahoshi, the god of the forest, because she's always talking about going to a forest, right? Which could tie to something in the past, reincarnation or whatever. Like she's just drawn to the forest in some way. And then Blackbeard now has the Guragura no Mi, so god of the earth, which could then, bring up the idea of, are the gods related to devil fruits, right? And then that would eliminate Vivi and Shirahoshi. And then we have because maybe whoever possesses the Guragura no Mi is actually the earth god. And then whoever possesses the Goma Goma no Mi is the sun god. So there's kind of an element of questioning there, which then would make sense if Dragon was the rain god. I like that. That's very possible. Just not sold on the forest god yet. Just not sold on that one yet. Until we meet him. Until he's a real character.
Yeah.
Until he's not a silhouette.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Like, you could have called him anything because there's so little to go off of. I totally get that. But real quick, did you ever consider the idea, the original three admirals were Logias, and now maybe under Akainu's administration that he's going with one Logia, one Paramecia, one Zoan? Has that kind of crossed your mind?
So I watched your video and I saw you bring that up, and I did like that idea because obviously Fujitora is a paramecia. I think it would be interesting. I think Oda likes to keep the pairs up, so it's possible that like maybe Green Bull has like a not a plant Logia but a plant paramecia, similar to what that guy had in Film Z. Hold on. Here, just talk to the chat for a minute. I'll be right back in like a minute.
All good. Yeah, that let's see. Evil, what you think of Morge's fourth lost theory? Fourth lost theory. I don't think I'm even aware of that. Fourth lost theory? Like the lost poneglyph? Do you think it's possible that the last scenes we saw from the Godasei weren't a single conversation, but rather two or more discussions at different times? Greetings from Italy. Yo, shout out to Italy, man. That'd be pretty interesting. I always come from like the standpoint, you know, when I read One Piece personally, I'm like, man, like Oda, like he'll have little tricks here and there. Things might be a little complicated, but I always come from the standpoint of like, you know, Occam's razor, like the simple answer is the answer. And just like Randy was saying, like the Godasei and Shanks could have very well been talking about Luffy, but not necessarily to kill Luffy or betray Luffy. You know, Randy kind of opens my mind up to that. But yeah, anyways, going on a tangent, I feel like Oda generally goes into like a straight line, like the simple answer is the answer. And I feel like I'm more towards it being a single conversation. You know, even with like Odin, right? Kanjuro is cosplaying as Odin, and we had like, oh, what if it's Katarina Devon? You know, what if it's, I don't know, like maybe Odin traveled in time, he survived, but like the simple answer is like it was Kanjuro. I remember even seeing polls about that, and the simple answer that was like on every poll I would see, like on Worst Gen, people would say, okay, the simple answer is Kanjuro, and that's what it turned out to be. So, Evil, what's your favorite personal theory? There's so many good theories, and I'm gonna sound so biased, but I would have to say lobbying and sword. I sound so biased, I'm sorry, but
What I miss?
someone was asking my personal favorite theory. I had to say lobbying and sword. I literally watched that like so many times. Just seeing Wano unfold, like.
Oh man, I wish I wish I took the time. I wish I took the time to edit that a little more. Like I probably could have made that like a 22-minute video instead of a 30-minute video with all my pauses and ums.
True. Yeah, we all feel like that, man. When I go back to my octopus video, I almost cringe. I'm like, yeah, it's a good theory, you know, I'm a newbie, but I could have did so much better. But
Ramona Vila, Kaido told that awakening is when your body and mind are in perfect tune. That's why the beast lost control. Dofi was having perfect control. Well, Dofi's also a paramecia, so it's a different style of awakening. 419 Bungo, Goda should always be visible behind you, Evil.
Goda.
What is it?
The goat? Is that the new name?
Well, he's talking about Oda, but you know, you put the G in it. You know, like
Goda.
Yeah, Goda. Let's see. Brandon King asks, what do you think Weevil with 3 3s will do?
I don't know what I'm gonna do, man.
No, like Edward Weevil.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. I want to hear your take on it. Like, where do you think his character arc's going?
So I personally, I would love for all of this to culminate with a quick exit out of Wano. They go to Sphinx Island, and then because Marco was, you know, staying at Sphinx, Weevil just sort of shows up while everybody's healing, and you know, someone that's not Luffy has to take him on. And I think that would be sort of fun, and just sort of like just have him be this sort of nuisance in a mini arc would be fun to me.
Because I've seen you toss around the idea where, you know, post Wano, Luffy's not in good shape, and you know Zoro has to step up. So maybe it's something like that.
That's what I would love, but I mean, now with Zoro being as packed up as he is, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's Sanji. I mean, I still want Sanji to get his nothing happened moment. So, you know.
That reminds me. Maybe you thought of this. What do you think of Sanji coming across the last CP0 member?
I would love that. I mean, that goes back to shout out to the 500 people in here, by the way. That goes back to like 1003 when we were first shown that like my guy Dripper Scarfino and the rest of them were on Onigashima. I was like, oh man, I hope Sanji runs into him. We get some of that Mr. Prince action. Maybe he uses the raid suit. RIP to that. To sort of be a fly on the wall, hear about what happened at the Reverie. You know, anything. Sanji's the only one who's like still good, right? So Oda obviously has a plan for Sanji. Sanji is going to be responsible for like really taking charge here, sort of like what he did at, you know, during Dressrosa and Zo. I think I was hoping it would be Zoro, just to like give him that opportunity to do that. But I think Sanji, being the only one that's not really packed up right now, he's gonna be in a leadership role, and that may pit him against someone. It could be the last CP0 member. Maybe Sanji is the one that saves Robin after, you know, I call him Schoolboy Collins. Like after he like snatches up Robin, Sanji shows up, takes him out, and rescues Robin, and then that's that call back to the whale tree conversation. Like I'd love that. I want someone to like get off of these government ships and really be a problem. And I'd love if it's actually Vegapunk, and then Sanji has to go up against Vegapunk, a la Zoro versus Kuma.
Oh man,
because there's already a tie there with Mads, with Judge, and all of that. So like a conversation between Sanji and Vegapunk needs to happen. A conversation between Frankie and Vegapunk, and especially Momo and Vegapunk. Like
how did I never think about all these ties going to Vegapunk? I really, really like that.
It's got to be those three. Like, and more than anybody, it's Sanji and Momonosuke. Like, and that's one of the reasons why I think Vegapunk still shows up at the end of this arc, is because this all started in Punk Hazard with Momo eating Vegapunk's artificial fruit, right? So if Vegapunk shows up to even like give Momonosuke some insight into his fruit, needed.
Yeah, kind of almost would wrap up like a super saga, right? Because
exactly,
you know, the Four Emperor saga.
Oh, it's all a super saga, bro. But I mean, I also need Dragon to show up to Wano so that he can take care of these factories, though.
Yeah,
you know, like that's the thing I want the most. The story implies that the Revolutionaries are coming to Wano. The story implies that Vegapunk is coming to Wano. The story implies that Blackbeard is coming to Wano. You know,
everybody, man.
And Film Red implies that Shanks comes to Wano.
You know, but I really stand. I kind of like changed my mind on this over time, but I really like the concept of Dragon and Sabo coming to Wano. Like, why throw them in Dressrosa? You know, they're trying to follow the footsteps of CP0, figure out where the weapons are coming from, all that. Like, they have to come to Wano. At least like post Kaido, maybe like they're rebuilding Wano, the towns or whatever, and then they show up. Like, yeah, it has to happen.
At some point, it has to happen. I mean, that's been one of my longest theories since Dressrosa. It was like, you know, once we learned about the Drunken Iron Ore, and then when Tama was talking about the factories on Luffy's back, it was just like, boom. Like, the Revolutionaries have to come to Wano now because they have to destroy these factories. That's where the Drunken Iron Ore is being made. That's what all of this is for. CP0 shows up in Wano, has a conversation with Orochi because they can't deal with Doflamingo anymore. They're coming to annex Wano for, you know, all of the weapons. The Celestial Dragons are using the weapons to wage all of these wars and everything, and that's what the Revolutionaries are trying to stop. They just need to come to Wano and destroy the factories, and then it's game over. Like, it's just, it's all there. It's just, why aren't they here? Or are they? And we just haven't seen them because Oda's, like, trying to play coy. I don't know, man.
Could even be on the sidelines, like, all right, Luffy, please win this fight, please, bro. Kaido goes down. All right, time to swoop in.
Right. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, I've suggested in the past that all of the act breaks have been designed to hide different information. So it's like we're only getting little bits and pieces so that we're not, if we saw Dragon say, all right, we're going to Wano, right? Every single chapter, everybody would be like, all right, so is Dragon coming? If Blackbeard said directly, like, oh, I'm going to go to Wano, like, we'd just be sitting waiting for it to happen. It's similar to, like, if we knew that Raizo scooped up that water, we'd be sitting waiting for Raizo to use the water. So what ends up looking like an ass pull is really just a deliberate omission of information so that we're not waiting for it. Oda doesn't want us to wait for things. So the act breaks are designed to, like, kind of give us a tease. So it's like maybe we get another act break and we see the before and we see them coming to Wano, but then we find out that they've already been there. They're already dismantling the weapons, and then they look out and it's like, whoa, there's a giant island. Is that Luffy? Like, wait, what? So I don't know, man.
I want to ask you, man, where do you see Orochi's character arc going from here?
Lucy B had me worried that Orochi is going to get his flames doused from all of this Zo water. So we could be getting the return of Orochi again. And I really love the full circle nature of this. Like, he creates Kanjuro takes him out. He builds the fire takes him out. He's responsible for Odin. Hiyori is there to, like, really, like, in one of the most savage way possible. I mean, I wish she actually did cut his head off, and was a secret samurai, but, I mean, I would love for it to come out that Tama's his daughter. So we were talking about that a little bit while you were on. I mean, I just want that catharsis. I want that philosophical question that is posed against Tama, where, like, she's been helping everybody, but she's also a Kurozumi. Kurozumis are bad, right? Like, that's... So this gives us an opportunity to get there, but then there's also, like, Oda's been doing this thing where not only is he just tying up some loose ends, he's trying to tie up every loose end. So it's like, all right, so Hiyori said she wanted to kill Orochi, so she checks out. All of the scabbards wanted to get back at Orochi. They all cut a head off. Next up is Zoro, who said he wanted to avenge Tonoyasu. So if Orochi gets back up, I think that it's so that Zoro can take him out.
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of people are on the train of, Zoro's not done this arc, so
Another one.
Shout out to Dizza for upgrading to the Heat on Feet class membership.
Bro, look, you got the heat on feet, bro.
My guy Chin asked, what do you think of Morge's theory that Luffy's going to lose a fourth time?
I think either way, Luffy's gonna end up winning against Kaido.
Same.
So if he goes down again, I'm not mad at that. As well as, like, I really need to see Kaido.
Another one.
Oh no. Did it happen again?
It's like, I want to see it really heat up.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You froze again? I thought your power went out again, bro.
Oh, no. That would have been truly heartbreaking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying that I really want to see Kaido get, like, a big power boost, whether he awakens or does something. Like, I want to see him push Luffy even further. I want to see him go up, because right now it's just kind of like, they were kind of neck and neck, and Luffy went gear 5. Like, I want to see Kaido go up too, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the typical shonen thing. We get a power up, they get a power up. They get a power up, they get a power up. So we'll see here. My guy Chad Ocho, rubber expert in the community. Actually, literally, he works with rubber and polymers and plastics and stuff. Anyway, he said, Resin thoughts. I'm still #Resin Boys for life, #copium. So for the longest time, you know, I was like, okay, Luffy's awakening has got to be like him turning into a giant, and I never relented from that. I was like, that's got to be a part of his awakening, because everybody's awakening is different. Doflamingo, Katakuri, like they affect the environment, but Kid, like his awakening affected someone else. Like he's not affecting the environment, but he's also a paramecia. So that's kind of strange to me. Like, is there something more to Kid's ability now? Because Luffy is able to turn Kaido rubber, which is the same as Kid making Big Mom magnetic, right? So I was like, all right, if Luffy can work within his own body, make himself bigger, maybe make other people rubber and like grow and shrink and all that. But then, you know, then I started rereading Sabaody Archipelago and thinking about Resin, and it's like, okay, well, if he's able to then produce rubber, right, then it would make sense that he's producing, you know, liquid rubber, natural rubber, resin. So I was on that, and I still am, and I think that if Luffy has these awakening abilities of his own, he's got awakening abilities that resemble paramecia awakenings, right, because he can do both what Katakuri and Doflamingo did and also do what Kid did, then what if he, you know, he's so broken that he ends up getting a Logia or a special paramecia aspect where now suddenly he is producing that natural rubber, that resin, and then everybody wins, nobody loses. And there is, you know, like all those foreshadowing things that happened in the archipelago end up actually being foreshadowing. Who knows?
It could definitely go that way, and I would like to see like Luffy be creative as usual. Maybe he's like shooting resin at people, and then like they're kind of getting caught in it, and it'd be pretty interesting.
Sticking to walls like glue. Yeah, there's a bunch of ways for things to go. Boss D Jinbei, what are your pros and cons of One Piece from both of us?
So many pros. I'll just say the transition between pre-time skip energy to post-time skip energy. I like that kind of dynamic, as well as like, you know, One Piece having this great tragedy, great comedy. I really like that. For cons, One Piece is not flawless. Maybe some of the deaths or non-deaths or whatever. I feel like Oda could have threw in a little bit more here and there, like obviously Pell, stuff like that.
A lot of Skypiea stuff. Yeah, it's the deaths. The deaths are really the only con for me. Soccer Smith said Resin is so trash. I see that all the time, but I don't understand why Resin is trash when it's literally like a form of rubber. Like I don't like, it's no different than Mr. 3 producing wax. Like it's the same idea.
So I got 2 questions for you.
Okay.
So are you in line with Tenguyama Hitestsu being Kazuki Sukiyaki?
Oh yeah. I've been on that for a long time.
There's so many signs, man. Like I'm actually going through like another Wano reread just to, you know, have the gears rolling or whatever. But there's so many clues.
Sukiyaki having Kokeshi dolls is like one of the biggest.
Cause that's so like tiny and like nuanced. It's just like, come on, man.
And then meanwhile, like Hitestsu is a Kokeshi doll collector, and then they both have the same voice actor in the anime, which, you know, like some people are like, oh, well, Kazuki Yao voices Django and Mr. 2 and Frankie, and it's just like, okay, yeah, right. But I mean, like, this is literally within the same story arc and everything. Oh, well, so was Mr. 2 and Django and Alabasta. All right, yeah, you know, like... it's not a good enough criticism. Like it's literally the same, man. It's the same dude. He's
you know, I don't know if you caught on to this, Randy, but when Luffy first met Hitestsu, and you know Hitestsu gave him that robe, you could see the suns from the Kazuki crest like right on the robe, and to me it's just like, come on, man.
Yeah. He's got suns on the garb right there.
Exactly like on the Kazuki crest, it's the same exact sun with the little dots. So,
but there's a lot of sun imagery. I mean, even the Alabasta flag.
Yeah, that's true. Luffy being the Dawn. So do you think that we're gonna have like another theme, another example of, you know, the Lost King reclaiming his throne? Do you think Sukiyaki's gonna take back over Wano?
Yeah, I actually talked about that in a video a long time ago. The Tama theory. I went in depth, and like I'm not the first person to bring up the Sukiyaki as a Tetsu thing. The first person that I saw bring it up is actually my guy Juba the Tuba on the One Piece Discord, the Reddit One Piece Discord. And I don't know if that was the first time I saw it, but I always saw Juba talking about it. And I was just like, you know, I like this, and this makes a lot of sense. And it also just tied into my Tama theory so perfectly as well. Because it's like... And then, but there's also the element that Orochi, you know, says that Sukiyaki was killed, right? But then never offers proof, and I just think he like locked him up for years in that room that Brook found when he found the Kokeshi dolls. Like, I think that we'll probably get some sort of a flashback, and we'll see that like he was kept underneath the castle for a while, and then he was able to break free, and then, you know, and then he raises Orochi's daughter. Like, think about the levels of like just there's just so many levels of just depth there.
Yeah.
It's something it's something I want, not just to be able to say another one. Like, it's just powerful stuff.
And even when you look back at Luffy trying to go to town, you know, when he took Hitetsu's swords and ran off, Hitetsu is like, I can't show up, you know, I have reasons of my own. Like, reasons of your own. It's, you know, with all this these metaphors and analogies of ghosts in Wano and them just assuming people are dead, you know, with Kinemon and Momonosuke and all those guys, like Hitetsu would be falling under that kind of role. Like,
well, it's also the identity theme that's in Wano.
Yeah,
everybody in Wano is pretending to be someone else. Like
Yamato.
Literally every single person is like trying to be someone else except for Tama. But then that's what would let Tama like fall into that line, because it's like you have Kamazo as killer, Drake is a secret marine, Big Mom literally loses her identity, Yamato is like having this identity crisis of being you know, Odin, Momonosuke is torn between, you know, living in the shadow of his father but then also living in the shadow of Kaido, because he's literally both of them. And all of the Straw Hats changed their names. Law could be a secret marine as well. You know? Yeah. Denjiro had a completely different identity, as, you know, even Ushimitsu Kozo, right? Like, not just Kyoshiro, but like he had like two identities, Hiyori, Komurasaki. Everybody has like this mask. So Tenguyama Hitetsu literally has a mask, so it'll be this fallen king trope that Oda loves. Same way he, you know, used Cobra, used Riku, used Boodle, used Gonfall. Like, everybody says, no, Momonosuke has to become the shogun. No, Momonosuke is going to become a Straw Hat. And Sukiyaki is going to take over Wano again unless the world government annex Wano. Like, if it comes in and they successfully annex Wano, then, you know, so be it. But I think until Momonosuke becomes of age or ready, right? Because I also think he's going to get aged down at some point somehow. Sukiyaki will just, you know, fill in. It's like, it's the perfect way to get Momonosuke to not have to be able to go off and like claim his dream. But that's also why I want Wano to get annexed, because then his dream is more powerful, because then they have to go up against the world government to get Wano back. So he can't become the shogun until Wano is saved. So, I don't know. That's how I feel about all that.
I agree on pretty much all of it, to be honest. Momo's too young.
Simon Briggs, Super Chat, said, interesting how Genzo's pinwheel inspired Luffy. Oda's favorite panel of Luffy dancing in Skypiea obviously matches the silhouette description of Sun God Nika. Together they resemble the divine Hindu symbol, the sun deity. Well, the Genzo's pinwheel inspiring Luffy just goes to Luffy. Almost all of his moves are inspired by something. Like, that's what he does. He's a sponge, and then his imagination allows him to turn that into something else. Like Gear Second, like he moves his legs like Bellamy, and in Gear Fourth he springs his arms like Bellamy. There's so many things. Like, that's why I also think we'll end up getting a version of Luffy where he's able to just produce some sort of rubber or something so that he can then do everything that Katakuri was doing. And then it's like that whole whatever you can do, I can do better just gets another layer where it's like, well, now I've actually one-upped you fully because I can do what you did too.
Now, do you think Luffy's gonna have that kind of theme or that kind of trope or whatever with Kaido? Is he gonna have some kind of Kaido-esque attack?
Well, I actually talked about this in a Twitch stream because they were like, what do you think of, what would be a satisfying way for Luffy to beat Kaido, right? So I thought, and I like literally just like was just spitballing, but I actually do love it, right? If Luffy takes his arm, right, blows it up into a giant, and then kind of takes a cue from, well, I don't think they ever actually met, but essentially like does the same thing as Miss Doublefinger, right? And then turns his arm into a Kanabo. Turns it into like armament, hockeys it up, right? And then does a Gomu Gomu no Thunder Bagua and like just like hits Kaido with the Kanabo. Then we'd have this parallel going back to Act 1 and all of that, and he finishes Kaido off by turning his arm into a Kanabo, spiking it out. Like, if he can think to do that, that would be satisfying for me.
I love that.
So I don't know.
It's
wacky. It's wacky.
What are your thoughts on, like, you know, Kaido actually being defeated? Like, assuming that Luffy defeats him, do you think like it's gonna be some grand attack, something really creative, something that could be foreshadowed, something like from left field? Like, where do you stand on that?
Like, just in terms of Luffy beating Kaido, like.
Yeah, in terms of beating him, like that final blow, or
I think I think he has to. I think he has to beat Kaido. I don't think we necessarily need Kaido to be in the story after this. If he does, then that means it's Oda's grand plan, but I'm not really... I see Luffy beats Kaido, but then something else happens that either prevents them from like really being able to save Wano, like the annexation, or someone else shows up, Blackbeard, whatever. Like, I need that new third element, or at this point a fourth element, because CP0 really was the third element. And like, let's just have that Kuma parallel, because if we're not going to get it here, we're going to get it at some point where there's just someone comes in and it's devastating and everybody's just got to run off. But Kaido and Luffy, like, we're not going to go through this whole super saga to take down Kaido and not take down Kaido. And it's going to be Luffy that does it. It's just, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, the warrior liberation. They've been drilling that in our head.
Right. And then right after, he basically says, like, oh, I'm about to enslave all of you. And then, like, that's what gets that drum pumping. Like, nah, come on.
Another one.
Shout out to Ben DeGear. Said, Mom Spaghetti, you only get one shot. Don't miss your chance to blow. The opportunity to beat Kaido only comes once in a lifetime, you know?
1v1, bet on him.
Until you can start grabbing lightning.
Oh, yes. You think that's gonna be like one of like the stronger attacks that Luffy has done on Kaido? Like him, like
I mean, we have to see what it even does. I mean, I loved it. Was it my guy Maxo and a couple other people? They were like, "Oh, Luffy just takes the lightning, but still punches him and doesn't actually hit him." You know, like the need eye.
Yeah, like the need eye situation. That's funny. I wouldn't mind that.
Nah, I enjoyed that. There's a preview of a video I've got coming out, but get your thoughts on this. So, I think that the original Joy Boy wasn't human. I think that Chopper is going to end up being like an allegory for what we're eventually going to get for Joy Boy. That there was an animal that ate the human fruit and then transformed and became human, right? And I think that he's going to be proven to be a snake. That's what I think. And that's because, you know, you go back to the Nolan and Calgara flashback. What are they worshiping? They're worshiping a snake. And that's what they believe the sun god is, right? And then even still in Skypiea, they're worshiping Nola, right? And, you know, you have this whole thing with Nola. Luffy gets stuck inside of it. It's a lot of people's least favorite moment in Skypiea. But if you can flip that around, and I'm still, you know, I found a lot of panels to really sort of justify this. It's going to be the next video I shoot probably this week. I just want to finish going through Amazon Lily for some more snake imagery. But I'd love to be able to go back to Skypiea, and then we find out that Joy Boy was a snake, right? That ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi, the Hito Hito no Mi, right? And here is a giant snake that literally has the Gomu Gomu no Mi technically inside of it again. And
that's great.
I think there's too much imagery for it, but there's also just the thematic element of like Joy Boy was the freer of slaves, right? Was trying to unite the world. I mean, it seemed like that's sort of my interpretation. Trying to unite the fishermen, trying to unite the minks, trying to like keep the world together, right? But what if, like Chopper, like he wasn't man or snake or anything, so he really had no classification. So he would have just been this outcast, trying to unite a world that he didn't actually fit in. And that's what I want to see.
That I've never heard of anything like that. That's really interesting. Someone in chat even said Gear 4th Snake Man as well.
Oh yeah, no, I plan to get into all of that, and it's just like, and that's the only thing that, you know, like, think about it. Bound Man, not connected to any animal. Tank Man, not connected to any animal. Snake Man, it's kind of out there, right? So now it's like, here's a snake that would have become a man, and then you have a man that eats a fruit that was eaten by a snake, becoming a snake man.
It's a good version. I like it.
Yeah. So, and Chin said, "Rip Gear 5 Tiger Man theory." Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be getting that. King J said, "Randy, the snake theory becomes more solid if we consider the Bible, the Adam and Eve, and we have the Adam tree, the Eve tree. Yep." And then the Gomu is the prohibited fruit, right? And then the snake eats the fruit. Yep. Joy Boy is the snake who tried to implement free will. Oh yeah, that's bro. I'm trying to go into all of that in this video. It's gonna be my next big thing. I'm giving like the spark notes here, but like I'm really gonna be pushing this one when I get it out.
More excited.
But yeah, I think I'm gonna start winding things down here. But I mean, any other things that you want to talk about? Anything you want to like promote? Anything you've got coming up that you want everybody to know about?
I would say I've been a little consistent the past week with videos. I'm gonna get it right back on track here very soon. But got my own first stream coming up on April 22nd. So if anybody wants to hang out in like a week from now, feel free to. But it's been a real big pleasure to be on here. Like lots of fun, man.
Yeah, man. I've been wanting to get you on here for a while. Just wanted to get the timing right. And Yeah, no man, I'm glad we did it. What day of the week is that stream gonna be on?
Should be on a Friday, so like Friday morning on the April 22nd. So we're gonna be talking about, was it 10:47? I guess. Maybe like a Q&A. You know, just having some fun. 9 a.m. MT, so I think that's like 11 a.m. EST.
All right. So, an hour before my stream. I probably won't be able to come in because I'm not going to be trying to spoil myself, man. I would love to be there, but I'm going to be prepping for mine. But
yeah, no worries.
If anybody wants to, lead in with evil next week, follow my man. His information is going to be below. Davon, aka Schoolboy Beat, said, "How would you feel if Emu was a siren? We haven't seen those being used in the story, even though they are pirates' greatest enemy in most folklore." That's funny. Yeah, sirens. We haven't really seen like a legitimate siren. I'm sure that there are probably instances there. But yeah, nah. Even with the snake theory, like I want to get into like Hancock, right? Who's like got all of this snake affinity, right? But who does she finally fall in love with? Like Luffy. Like there's just so much, man. There's so much. I really
That literally would have never crossed my mind if you didn't say that.
Nah, this was dope, man. This was fun. Catch Eddie, aka Evil, aka Threevil, aka 333ville. Shout out to the Ville. Edward Threevil. on his channel. And thanks everybody for being here for another Theory for Theory. We're going to be back here on Friday 12:15 EST for 10:47, and then I think it's going to be I'm hearing that it's going to be another break that week, so we'll probably have another Theory for Theory the following week, so get ready for that. And anybody looking for the VOD for this, just stand by. I will be re-uploading it. I am gonna take it down, and then I'm gonna cut it up. I'm gonna put it back up. The full version with everything will be on the second channel. And that's that, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Any other last words you got, my guy?
Appreciate all you guys. Love Randy's community. Every time I'm even into the text chat, like, guys are so nice. Appreciate all the love and you guys hanging out. And thank you so much, Randy, again, man. Really can't express how thankful I am for this.
Hey, man. It's fun, man. Anytime to talk about One Piece, I love it.
Savage.
Savage.
I've been swimming deep. Savage.